Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this live stream. I hope everybody is really doing well and you're able to hear my voice. It's a Wednesday and 21st of Feb. The Feb is almost on the verge of ending, and 29th of Feb is going to be the last day of the month. And so far, Bitcoin is still holding about the 48,500, where people are going nuts with. The volume is literally blowing on, expanding on ETF with, BlackRock and Fidelity combining together is now holding more than 210,000 Bitcoins, which is roughly around 1% of the total, 1% of the total supply. And this is not like done. I mean, because MicroStrategy also holds more than similar like that. And together they are planning for like 2%. Supply is already exhausted. So I think the ETF narrative was definitely not only bullish, but then the outcome itself is bullish at this point. And versus what the contrarian scenario was, that we're going to see a massive ETF dump. Yes, we got the dump after an ETF, but that was bought very, very quickly. In fact, we bought as well at $39,000 to $39,300, and we also have booked 75% of all the spots that we bought around those levels, with some at 49,000, and then rest we closed around 51,800 or so. I do think I'm holding rest of the 25%, because I still think that now we should not be going back under the $38,000. But then there are some patterns that are forming on Bitcoin that might probably lead us not only beyond 38,500, but maybe even to $35,000. That is something we need to discuss. We have bullish case, we have bearish case for the Bitcoin. Now, as I've discussed already with all my premium members, guys, you guys as well, with the 21M Technicals members, I've already discussed about how normally the Feb used to perform. I mean, normally the February is the month where we see a very interesting move on a downside. Now, I've already have went and go through that sort of an analysis basically. So I'm just going to show you the image. Basically, let me just remove the signals for now and EMA, so that our charts are a little bit clear on the heart and time frame. Yep. So the plan was, as I mentioned, that we're likely going to do a chop in a range formation, the way we have seen a very similar sort of a range as well when we literally pumped up like this. This was the range. Again, we got a little bit smaller, range, as you can see, before the price starts going back down. So before we pump up the price, normally ranges. In fact, with this move on an upside as well, we ranged very, very nicely for like few days, and then later on the price starts dumping back. Literally the whole pump was retraced in a matter of like few, I would say, days actually, or I would say a few weeks. So for now, I think the Bitcoin is likely going to range, and I do think that the price is probably going to sweep one more time towards 53.3 and maybe even $54,000 before we literally go down deep. We need more and more liquidity. We need to see more and more sort of deviations above, and then probably once we have finished this range, a lot of liquidity have been grabbed. I think the market is then probably going to pull a big move on the downside in the Feb itself, and my primary target is going to be $47,000, which is where the equilibrium of the range is, and max in my view should be going towards $40,000. Now, why we have that base? What is the base for it? So let me just pull out the images that I shared a few days back with the premium members regarding how February normally, your statistical data we are talking about, how normally February gives us a very interesting dump actually. That's what, and I already have that video, but yeah, that video is only for the premium members. It's unlisted, but I'm just going to show you an image. So let me just pull out an image for now. Yep. So now that we have got an image, so this is what we have. I'm just going to open it in a browser. Hold on. Perfect. So here is the image, guys. As you can see here, this is the 2023, 2020, 2021, and 2022. I'm also going to open an image for the previous one as well. The another image, this is going to be something like this, because this is what we have already discussed about. And then the future plan for what I expect for Bitcoin to really do actually. One thing is for sure, after this dump that we are going to get, 24th of March is going to be our pivot. So first thing is the 24th of March, we are having a lunar eclipse, pre-number lunar eclipse. And if you see the historical, pre-number lunar eclipse, the market normally gives us a pump. It can give a small dump, probably max 10% from these levels, but normally the market were in uptrend before this move, and it just continued on a big impulsive move on an upside. This is how the pre-number lunar eclipse have performed very nicely. As you can see as well, in 2023 we had the pre-number, so market got a severe dump, then a push up, a little bit of more dump, and then the market starts a big impulse on an upside. Similarly, we had a very interesting date as well. A pre-number lunar eclipse happened in 2020 as well. 2020, you can see, market just over here give us an impulsive move, a little bit accumulation, and then the bull run started. Similarly, in 2020 July as well, a market, over here, as you can see, this was a pre-number lunar eclipse. A market just started pumping from there. Again, we had a pre-number lunar eclipse in 2020 June. The market slightly gave us an impulsive move, a little bit pullback, and then market reversed. And in 2020 Jan as well, the market started pumping from there, which is where it gives you like a 20-25% move on an upside. Later it just dumped. So I think the March 2024 is going to be a very interesting date for Bitcoin. I think it will be very interesting to buy Bitcoin at those levels, because the probability of it pumping is higher. And even if it dumps, the dips are for buying in my view. Overall, I think before this date comes, we are likely going to be in an uptrend. So the market, even if let's say we dump towards 47,000 and we are just going to do something like this, so the market will be in an uptrend in my view before the 2024 March. Now after this, we can do something like this, probably just go to $40,000 and maybe finishing this whole move, retesting those levels back, something like this. But the market is going to reverse and it's going to start a bigger rally for Bitcoin after this 24th March in my view. Now let's talk about our the statistics for for the month of basically February. So in 2019, as you can see here, you guys know about it, I've already discussed with you. 2019 we got 13% dump in the month of Feb, and beginning of the March the market reversed on 28th of February, and then we made just kept on pumping. In 2020 it was a COVID crash as well, along with February dump, but overall the market started dumping from 21st of February, and then it just kept on dumping till 10th I think 19th of March, and then the market reversed, and then we start making new highs. In 2021 market did dump 26.4% in month of February. In 2022 market dumped 25% in the month of February. So this is what you have. Now second chart is, I've already mentioned the year. So you have 2022 25% dump, 2021 27% dump, 2020 that was a COVID crash actually. So I would consider this is like a one-off for now, but let's say even if that is one-off, you literally got like 20% move on the downside in the month of Feb for 2020 as well. 2023 we did got 23% move on the downside in the previous chart as well, 2023. So what we can expect for 2024, as you can see, before in 2023, so what was the trend actually? So let's start with 2021. In 2021 market was in an uptrend. February open, in February market pumped 80%, and then it gave 26.5% dump. Okay, that's what market did. In 2022, market pumped, so February market pumped 25%, 25.8%, and then it started dumping 25%. So basically whole pump was retraced in the month of Feb, and we literally swept the February open as well. 2023, similar situation happened in 2023 as well. So the market pumped 18% in the month of Feb, and then it retraced the whole move till March, and then swept the February opens, after which it starts reversing. So what we can expect for the month of 2024, what we can expect in month of February 2024 year, basically is, if you can see here, the market already gave us an impulsive move of almost close to 24.5%, 24 to 24.5% in the month of February. So if the similar situation continues, I think the market is likely going to, if we do see an average over here, 2021, 26%, 2022, 25%, 2023, 22%, 2020, I'm just going to ignore the one-offs of 60%, just ignore 2020 for now. 2019, you got 13%. If you just average it out, you get almost close to 20% to 21% dump on Bitcoin in the month of, Feb. And normally that dump starts between 21st of Feb and 24th of Feb. So that's what the historical data have seen for the Feb. And one thing is for sure, just look at in this, every chart you look at it, this dump, after this dump, the market just go haywire. It's just going to sweep the previous highs. Look at here. This was the Feb highs, market dumped, and boom, it just swept the Feb highs. Similarly, 2021, this was the Feb highs, market dumped 26%, and then it started pumping. Similarly, 2023, this was the Feb highs, market dumped, swept the Feb lows, Feb opens, and then market started sweeping the Feb highs, Look at the previous 2020 as well. This was the Feb highs, market dump, and then it swept the Feb highs. Look at 2019 as well. Let's check it out. This was the Feb highs. We got a dump, and then market reversed and swept the Feb highs. So one thing is for sure, and I'm damn sure about this. Just hold on, guys. I'm getting a call. Just hold on. Sorry, guys. So one thing is for sure, and you can just, note down somewhere that after this dump, let's say of 20 to 25% dump, maybe to $40,000, and maybe even like a broadening top, we can even go to $37,900 as well, max. After this dump, the market is going to go haywire. It's going to sweep the February highs. It's going to be like, one of the best opportunities in my view. Now let's say something like a one-off event like COVID crash happens in this month as well, or coming month, maybe something, I don't know, and we just see like 50 to 60% dump on Bitcoin out of nowhere, then as well it would be advisable to at least buy the spot Bitcoins, not leverage, buy spot Bitcoins. And once we see that the market have bottomed, we see that now it's a good opportunity, that market had reversed, we got a good bounce, the reaction we wanted, I think then you should be playing with the coin margin contracts. So you have spot Bitcoins, and then you simply just keep building coin margin contracts, 1x leverage, 2x leverage. Don't go more than 3x. I would advise not to do that. In fact, I would advise, if you are just trying to knife catch, don't go more than 2x for the coin margin contracts. The coin margin contracts needs to be built at least under $40,000, so as to make sure that your liquidations are safe with 2x leverage, because you have a strong support at 18,500. I would say begin with just 1x, so that your liquidation is practically impossible. Even if it dumps to $10,000, I don't care. So basically you start with 1x, and that's how you keep on making money, So you just understand the statistics as to what it tells you. Every damn year, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, we have seen Bitcoin dumping in February, giving us an average dump of 20 to 25%. Every damn year it has happened. And the dump normally happens only between 21 and 24. That's how. Only the year 2019, if you see, the dump happened a little bit early. It happened around 15 to 13 of Feb, and it just kept on continuing to 28th of Feb. And 28th of Feb, it just bottomed and market reversed. So that was like a one-off year, actually, you can say. But overall, the average scenario says that from today, 21st of Feb till 24th of Feb, the market is going to see some nasty move on the downside. So we need to be preparing ourselves. There is a hype in the market. Everybody's so bullish. We just want to see up only. Nobody wants to see that, such sort of a dump. No one is prepared at this point. The fear and greed index is much, much higher. We need a little bit reset in the market. Now, I'm not saying here that we need to be bearish. No, this is the bullish dump actually, and this dump will be bought so quickly because ETF, just people are just, buying the spot ETFs. They are buying shares. So basically, these companies like BlackRock, institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, and others, they get a lot of money to buy the dump actually. So practically, what I'm saying is, yes, I'm expecting a dump, this dump. Second thing, yes, after this dump, I'm also expecting the market to sweep the highs, which is, let's say, February highs is 53,300. Let's say we already got the highs. As you can see on the chart, this was the fib that I had, 53,255. We almost went there to those fibs when I was discussing about this. I posted this chart analysis on 16th of February. The whole video was, I made it. I also explained you, yes, we need to be bullish. We are bullish. But now with this scenario, we need to be cautiously bullish. Whatever the longs we take it, whatever the new opportunities we take it, it needs to be taken with utmost care and with low risk at this point. Once we get this dump, we are going to fill our bags quickly. Now, this is the bullish case that we have. The bullish case is, let's go back to our, Bitcoin chart. So the bullish case for Bitcoin, as I mentioned, you have a very interesting, I would say a very, very interesting, this is the Bitfinex chart. I'm just going to change it to Coinbase because I have everything on Coinbase chart. Perfect. So we have a broadening top. The broadening top have been tested. The range have been tested. And very interestingly, guys, it is not yet confirmed. But if you look at the weekly is forming a very big bearish divergence on RSI. Look at this. So this is how the weekly is forming a bear divergence. Now, the only time this sort of a bear divergence happened when we were in a bull run on the weekly on 4th of Jan. As you can see here, this is where the bear divergence happened at this point of time. And what happened was the market just out of nowhere, had a flash dump. Like this was the dump. As you can see, this was the candle that we got on the weekly time frame for almost close to 22% dump on a weekly time frame. And then, it just kept on forming a, like a bearish divergence, keep on forming a bear divergence. So practically 20-21% dump is also aligning with our move. So basically this week might be red actually. So you just have to be prepared yourself, guys. Don't be bearish, but the dump is this dump, whatever we are going to get it will be a very bullish dump and will be bought very, very quickly in my view. So this is not yet confirmed. The divergence is not yet confirmed, but it's a very valid one actually. Also talking about the range, we have a range equilibrium. So this is where we had a range highs. So let's say this is your range highs over here. So the range equilibrium stands around, $47,000 as I mentioned previously, or 46,900 and 900 or so. So everybody sees that we have broke out of this range. We are bullish. The range is flipped. So everybody is going to bid 47,000. That's like a retest of the range. The range is flipped. We have flipped the support and we want to pump up like this. But what's going to literally happen? What's going to happen would be, we are definitely going to see this. We are definitely going to bounce, but then we are going to see some more dump on the market. Whosoever bought at 47,000 are going to be in dilemma what we should do. The market is not stopping. We're just going to keep on dumping to 40,000. A worst case scenario would be like a broadening top pattern plays out, and the whole move that we have seen so far would be 1, 2, this move is 3 over here. So that would be our wave 4. We should not be sweeping under 38,000 in any case for the wave 4. Worst case, even if we go down, we should be just bought up very quickly, and then we should be a little bit doing something like this, and we go for a sweep up like this. That's how the wave 5 is going to happen normally. So that's how the wave 5 happens. Now we are very bullish on this. So the bullish count, as I mentioned, max it goes to 40,000. Worst case, it goes for 38,000, but it's going to be bounced very quickly from there and sweeping up the highs. But what is the bear case scenario, guys? We also need to keep in mind that we do have the bullish case, but what if we are bear? I mean, what if it turns, market turns bear? What is the scenario that we have on the table? So if you look at our chart, I'm just going to go to our support resistance algo. Going to switch off the fibs so that the chart don't look a little bit messy. In despite of the fact it did look messy, it does look messy. What is the case over here that we are bearish? The bearish case is this, that we are for scenario 2 actually, which is like end of 5th wave. That's what we had, end of 5th wave, and we keep on dumping to $32,000. Basically the whole move would be a diagonal actually. When nobody even thinks about it, this whole would be on an upside. A bullish impulsive move would be just a very basic diagonal. Now let's say if this is not a diagonal, okay? First thing, what is diagonal? A lot of people don't know even what is diagonal. So this is how the diagonal is going to form over here. So you take it from here, this highs. This was the highs over here. We already made a deviation, and then this was the lows, and then was a high. So this was like a diagonal, or you can also say a rising wedge. So this is like a wave 1, a wave 2 over here, sideways accumulation, a bullish impulsive move for wave 3 over here, a sharp move on the downside, wave 4, and then you got an impulsive move, 5 waves on an upside for a wave 5 diagonal finish. So this is how the diagonal finishes, and this is just your bigger wave 1, bullish wave 1. And what we normally does is wave 2 normally goes minimum a sweep of this lows. That would be your wave 2, wave A actually. And there are 2 ways. First, it does something like this, bullish, and then it just dumps like this for a bigger impulsive move to sweep this lows. Something like this going to be like a wave 2 actually, a little bit of more accumulation here, and then the market reverse and pumps to something like this. That's how the wave 2 is going to be. First scenario. Second scenario, bear case, would be we just simply sweep the lows, go towards 35,000, reclaim this, and then the market goes nuts and go for irregular expanded flat for like a bigger wave 2 actually over here, a sideways accumulation, and then we go for a new all-time highs. Now normally this is, I've never seen this sort of a bigger irregular expanded flat for a wave 2 after a diagonal, but in bull run this is very, very common as well. So overall, this diagonal is the only bearish case we have here. I really don't think this is ABC. I really don't think this is some sort of WXY. And I really don't think this is some sort of a triple zigzag correction. Either this is a bullish impulsive move, or it is just simply going to be a very strong, very strong, I would say, very strong ABC move. How ABC move? So that's going to be like we are playing a bigger range on Bitcoin. So meaning that this move on an upside from the bottom was your wave A over here. This is your wave B over here. And right now we are in wave C. So the wave C would do something like this. We go down here. This is going to be like a wave 4 actually. And we pump up, make new all-time highs like this. Just sweep up the highs, take all the liquidity, and then the market starts dumping back like what gold did actually, and then it goes to $30,000 out of nowhere to test the range lows, and that's where you get a bigger irregular expanded flat for A, B, and C. Now this is the worst case scenario. So before the halving, the market literally go nuts and go for new all-time highs, trap everyone. That's the worst case scenario, you can get it. So these are the bull and bear case scenario that we have for Bitcoin. But for now, on the lower term time frame, I think the broadening top is very, very likely, and my minimum target for Bitcoin is $47,000. That's the bare minimum target that I have for Bitcoin, and a max target that I have for Bitcoin would be around $40,000. If we talk about the broadening top pattern normally targets, we have seen a very similar sort of broadening top played out on Chiliz and a lot of alts. I mean, just look at how this sort of a broadening top in an uptrend played out on Chiliz. Just look at it. Few months back it happened already. So just wanted to show you. I'm just going to probably hide all the indicators for now, and our plan was perfectly played out, so just wanted to see where the broadening top here. This is where the broadening top pattern played out. So as you can see here on Chiliz, the market was literally in a downtrend. I don't know what happened. Hold on. So the market was in a downtrend, as you can see here on Chiliz. The market was in a downtrend, and we started a heavy uptrend on Chiliz in 2022. And what happened at that point of time? We formed a broadening top pattern. So what happens if you look at from the chart perspective? This is exactly what Chiliz did actually over here. This is what the broadening top pattern looks like actually, and that's how it played out actually. Look at this perfect broadening top over here. So this is where we swept the highs, then we went down lows, and the market kept on pumping, sweeping the highs as well, going above the highs. And even if you just look at from the fibs perspective, because fibs are crucial and we just want to validate our theory as well over here. If you look at from the fibs perspective, the market that market pumped almost above, or I would say close to 1272 Fibonacci levels. Not exactly 1272, but very much close actually to those levels at that point of time. And then we started dumping heavily, swept the lows, and the market reversed back and went down like this, retracing the whole move on the downside. I'm not expecting the Bitcoin to retrace this whole pump actually from the beginning of 15,000, but this is like how the broadening top normally plays out actually. It's a very bearish structure actually. So I think at this point, guys, if you are literally thinking of buying more and more Bitcoin, I think you really need to wait for Bitcoin to flip $52,858 or $53,000 on 4-hour time frame, because we have 6 rockets over there. And now the next support, that as you can see here from the support resistance algo, is already at $47,000, which also is having a confluence with the daily naked POC marked in red color at 47,300 and equilibrium of the range at 46,900 basically. So all in all, I mean, this is a very good levels for Bitcoin. Probably if it just wants to go down, this is how it is going to go down. So maybe a straight dump to this, literally sweeping everyone out of the market, and maybe a pump from there, a push up, maybe a possibility, and then after that we further go down from there towards a $40,000 this way, or maybe even sweep the lows and go to the monthly support of 37,300, and after which I think the market is going to see a big reversal in the March, pumping. A minimum target would then be towards $48,800 from those lows for after once we start finish this dump. So I think at this point $47,000 is our first levels for Bitcoin to be bullish, to see some good bounce or a reversal. And losing $47,000, the only level you need to be very much looking for after the $40,000 will be the liquidity under 41,800, which is where we have a good support at 41,400, and later you only see a big liquidity under 38,500 basically. Even high block data suggests that we have a huge liquidity at 35,000 basically. This is like a huge liquidity block, lot of like billions of liquidity we have under these levels of 35,000. So that's like a broadening top pattern. Overall, this broadening top can be like a bearish as well, but if we hold these levels of 35, it can be very, very bullish, and it's going to give us a big V-shaped recovery in the market. And we might just literally get a pump before 24th of March, as I mentioned. So we just keep on pumping till 24th of March like this. A recovery happens, and after 24th of March, the market is going to give you a very interesting dump later on, and then it just goes like this as well. You never know, or maybe it just keeps on reversing and maybe just dump further like this towards 29,000, maybe 24,000 as well. Overall, I think I'm bullish on the Bitcoin. 15,000 was my bottom for Bitcoin. I'm holding my Bitcoin spots from 16,800. I've not hedged it yet, not booked any profits. My target for Bitcoin is $450,000. So it's gonna happen in probably 2025. It's not gonna happen in 2024. So I'm ready to hold it for another 1.5 to 2 years. Maybe in between, maybe I will just play with the coin margins where I have to hedge it, where I have to play some scalps in between. But overall, this is the plan for Bitcoin. The bullish plan I've already mentioned previously. The bear plan, this is the bearish case that we have for the Bitcoin. The bullish case has already been explained, guys. Talking about the USD DOM. The USD DOM is on the lower term time frame, is at a resistance right now, but as you can see here, a 4 hours time frame on the USD DOM is quite looking good. We have a very interesting bullish divergence. RSI, stochastic, MACD, histogram, everything is turning bullish, and yes, we are seeing a good bounce as well across the board. So definitely, this is like a this was a very much expected. This bounce was very much expected. So now we have got the bounce with the 5 waves on the downside. I think the USD dominance is likely going to see some impressive continuation on the upside. Even if you look at the weekly time frame on the USD dominance, guys, the USD dominance is literally have lost the weekly EMA 200. So we have lost it. Now we need to retest it. Like 5.33% needs to be tested. So if 5.33% is reclaimed back, let's say this was like a deviation, like a trap, everybody got trapped inside these levels, and if 5.33% got trapped, if got flipped back, definitely the USD dominance is literally going to run. So for now, I think from 5.919% to 5.33%, we still have a move of at least 3 to 4% or 2.6 to 2.8%. So basically, at least you can expect another this much dump in the market for Bitcoin, and basically from there, either we're going to see a full-fledged reversal or it's just going to keep on continuing on the downside. But basically, USD dominance is at a big support, guys. This was like a big support for USD DOM. If you look at the weekly RSI, the weekly RSI is also, it's not having any sort of a big bullish divergence, but OBV is very, very bullish. You can see here the price made lower lows, OBV did not. OBV is bullish, and hence this is like giving me a very not good vibes over here for the market. If this reverses the USD dominance, I think it's going to wreck everyone actually. So basically, we don't need to be bearish at all at this point. Yes, we will be bearish when USD dominance reclaim 5.63%. Then forget about being bullishness. We just focus on being shorting the market. That's all we want to do at that point of time. Then probably the biggest risk reward would shift from longs to shorts at that point of time. Right now, the risk reward is in favor of shorts and not in favor of longs at this point as well, because even if you put a stop loss, you would like to put your stop loss where? Under maybe $42,800 by longing here at 51,000. So that won't give you a good risk reward. The risk reward is much favorable on short at this point. So, but the risk reward is going to turn more favorable for shorts once the USD dominance starts flipping 5.63%. But as and when the USD dominance starts flipping 5.63%, it goes to 6.2%. Again, the risk reward will turn favorable for longs and not shorts at that point of time. But right now, I think we need to wait and watch as to how we're going to close this weekly. Remember, we are not bearish, we are bullish, but then looking to all the scenarios, everything, the dump, 20%, 24% dump, these dump will be the bullish dump, guys, which means that we need to be greedy to buy this dump actually. 24% dump, we should be very, very greedy to buy this dump. So that's what means that overall we are bullish, and In between, we're going to see some dumps, as I mentioned as well. A minimum 20-25% dump is going to happen, inshallah. And what I feel is the only big problem that I see over here, and many of you guys knows about it, is we have an equal highs on the USD dominance. Not only once, but we have 3 equal highs. I don't know what's going to happen there, but if you know the pattern I've posted on for the Bitcoins that I've studied so far, if it now reclaims back 5.63%, I think the market is going to go nuts actually. It's going to literally go in another full-fledged bear market. I mean, we just have to be ourselves ready for such sort of situations when it happens. But I just hope we don't have, I so want Bitcoin to go literally above, 100K at this point minimum, so that, it gives good risk reward with the $16,800 spot positions. And we make a good money actually out of it. But let's see, we're just going to play levels on levels for the USD DOM. For now, I think the USD dominance on the weekly time frame is turning bullish. We still have the weekly to close. The daily time frame, if you can see here as well on the USD dominance, our signal indicator perfectly detected the sell over here for the USD dominance, and as you can see how the market behaved at that point of time. The daily time frame, the USD dominance for the second time, it has flipped the MA RSI, which is a very big sign, guys. Meaning that this is the first indication that the price of a USD dominance, first indication that it is reversing, and it's going to reverse big actually. This is like a first indication, a very big indication for me. Now it's going to be full-fledged bullish, as I mentioned, once it flips 5.33%. Once it flips 5.33%, we are going to 5.63, and once we flip 5.63, there is no coming back. We're simply going to pump up to 7% because we're not gonna do anything about it at that point of time. So for now, the only levels between bulls and bears is 5.33% for a USDT dominance. That's the only levels we have for a USDT DOM, basically. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what the live I wanted to have with you guys. I think, it would be very wise. On the lower term time frame, let's talk about the lower term time frame on Bitcoin as well. So, higher term time frame, I've already discussed my plan. Lower term time frame, we are still above EMA 200, and as you can see on the price action algo indicator, and also as you can see the red line. That MA is also, we are above this MA over here. So till we are above this 51,036, I think Bitcoin can literally give us a very interesting bounce, because you see the move on the downside. This was A, B, and C, and then you got 5 waves impulsive move here, A, B, and a sharp move on and upside C. We got a buy signal over here. We got a buy signal as well over here. And those buy signals perfectly played out with V pumping towards $53,000. And we already booked the profit, if you remember. Now that we have gone this way and the move that we are just holding up, what if this is like simply A, B, and a sharp move on the downside with wave C actually? And this was your wave 1. This is your wave 2 over here. We're going to see wave 3 up sweeping the highs, wave 4 like this, wave 5. So towards 54,000, and then the market starts dumping heavily. Now, what if this is also a scenario that I have in my mind, and I really wanted to play the longs. I played it the scalp today with an anticipation that it flipped the Monday mid. I got stopped out for 1 hour actually with a very tiny stop loss, but I got stopped out. I lost 1 hour, and I really think that if it can reclaim that 51,641 levels, which is a weekly levels back, along with the Monday lows, I think I would consider a bottom for Bitcoin at that point of time, maybe a little bit choppiness, and then we can ride it to again long it back towards 53,800, maybe 54,100. So I think on the lower term time frame, till we are above, the previous week mid levels of 50,300, and also we are holding the $51,000. I think Bitcoin is very much primed for pumping towards $53,400 to $54,000 in coming days. So basically next 1 or 2 day probably we might see such sort of a dump. Things accelerate, another bullish thing, bullish, and out of nowhere we get a big flash dump on the market, as we anticipate for like, you know, $47,000 would be a minimum target for Bitcoin. Because let's assume where would be your 20% to 24% in case if we are going towards a one more push up for, you know, $53,700 to $54,000. Let's say we pump it up back to $54,180. Let's say. Ideally it should not. Let's say we are pumping to 1 for Fibonacci levels. So from there, if you are saying that we need to dump to 20%, that would be that dump would be clearly towards the target of 20%, which would be 42,900 minimum. And if it goes with an average like 24% is what it normally gives, and we have a huge support and current year open as well as 42,200, maybe we can deviate, but max it can go at this point. I see it not going back under $40,500. So we have a huge support at those levels. So in case even if it dump, the market has to go max at those levels. We're going to see some retest of $46,000. So I am going to buy big spots over here, because let's say even if we don't bounce or give us a full-fledged recovery towards new highs, but we're going to see at least 10 to 12% move on an upside from that levels. So that's where these bounces are going to help us in making a lot of money. 10 to 12% bounce are going to really help us a lot. So lower term time frame, this is the plan I have for, you know, Bitcoin. The worst case scenario can be a zigzag correction, meaning what would be the zigzag correction? This is not ABC, but this is like a WXY. So meaning this move was A, B, C, W, A, B, C, X. A move was A, this was B, and we are doing wave C over here. We're going to sweep the lows, taking it down towards previous week mid of 50,300. You know, it's good. It's like you know, just understand it is like a let's understand this is like a very interesting what do you say, an accumulation that's happening. So we are currently in an accumulation at this point. So let's say this is an accumulation that's happening with a VIX above. You know, you get a manipulation like this, and then you got an expansion. We get an expansion towards a pump up for, as I mentioned, 54,000 max. It goes for the wave 3. So what if we go for a WXY as well, which is very valid actually. So we can pump up like this, a retest Monday lows back, and then we go down like this, go to the previous week mid, and then we run up back here, take all the liquidity, and then we start dumping down. Now, the worst case scenario can be a very different thing as well for the PO3 perspective. Now, we are in accumulation right now. If we are still in a range, we can go for a bigger, you know, manipulation for the price perspective, you know, and then we can go for like a big reversal on a downside. Because from a lower term time frame perspective, this can be a very interesting, what do you say? I think I forgot. What do you say, guys? Week off schematics, you know. So this can be a very interesting week off schematic. Let me show you what week off schematic we can probably be looking over here for a Bitcoin actually. Just hold on. Perfect. So there are two week off theories that we have here. The first theory that we hold these levels, we are holding 51,000, you know. We don't go for a PO3, we are holding 51,000. We pump from here, we go for the 53,500 straight away and making like 3 peaks, you know, 3 peaks, and we are having a lot of liquidity on the downside. We don't take those liquidities. We save those liquidities for some, you know, maybe for some future, you know, downside, future fall in coming days. Let me just take a screenshot so that I can show you guys. Perfect. See guys here. So that is the schematic 1 on the lower term time frame that we have. Look at here. As you can see on the chart, ladies and gentlemen, just going to make it a little bit bigger so that you can see. Okay. So this is your, this is basically your PSY, and this is where you got a BC over here, and after that you got an AR, and then you got an ST over here, you got SOW in phase B, and then you got UT over here. After the UT, we got a move on the downside, and we are holding these lows over here, as you can see the SOW phase, and also we just need to hold the above for 51,000, and then we can just probably chop a little bit accumulation happens like this, a little bit choppiness accumulation, and then we go for a UT80 and go for a deviation on an upside like this, chop, and then we go for LPSY, SOW phase, LPSY, and go on so and forth actually. So that's our first schematic. For this schematic to play out, we want $51,000 to hold actually. If we go under 51,000, or I would say we really want to hold above, now that we can hold above 50,739. So we really want it to hold above 50,739. The second schematic that we have here is LPSY. Let me show you. That is the second one. Here. So that's the second schematic that I've shown you guys. As you can see here, that's the second one that we have. This one, in which, we first go for a downside, we take a liquidity on the downside, and then we look for, go for an upside. That's like, this is your PSY as I mentioned, this is your BC, this is your AR, this is your ST, SOW in phase B, a little bit choppiness accumulation, and then we go for UT in phase B, and then we go down, we just hold the lows, go for a retest of Monday highs over here, or a BC, which we already did, and then a little bit choppiness, go down like here, LPSY, a retest, further go down to take a low liquidity, another LPS over here, further go down, and then we go for a reversal once the price flips up. So that's the two options that we have on the lower term time frame. I do think at this point, my favorable would be we hold these lows of 50,800. We probably do for something like this. We chop a little bit between Monday lows and something like this, and the price goes up like this. One more push up towards 53,000, maybe even 54,000. And then we come back down, and then we go down. This was what my favorable would be, because this is going to be very interesting. Everybody is expecting on the sidelines, looking for 49,000 previous month highs to be tested. So basically, it's going to be like, if we do happen to give that move on the downside, it is going to be very simple. And that's going to be like, very, very easy for us to, for everyone, and it goes like this. It will be very easy actually, very, very easy. So in case if Bitcoin really want to give us a very, very much, not straight away pump, but more choppiness. So we go for a little bit choppiness, going a few days, maybe in next 24, 40 hours, a little bit choppiness, a triangle formation. We go for an upside, 5 waves up like this, and then we dump like this. That's where, a bigger schematic distribution is going to happen for a Bitcoin on the lower term time frame. That's going to trigger a move on the downside and a bigger impulsive move on Bitcoin, very much close to 24th of Feb. That will be over the weekend, actually, this weekend, So that's what I think Bitcoin can literally do. The worst case scenario is, let's say if we are just literally not flipping the Monday lows and we are not reclaiming it back, let's say we are not flipping it back, and then probably we are just simply losing the $51,000, and we are going back under, the 50, we are sweeping the lows of 50,600. I do think then probably we are likely going to see going back down to previous week mid, and then probably even to the golden pocket zone that we have around $49,700. I really don't have any confidence there, but simply it's just the golden pocket zone from the fifth perspective, and then probably from there we can just look for or run up on the upside. That's what, the overall crux of this whole thing. So how are we going to play this, guys? So we know that, there is a possibility of one more push up. How are we going to play this? Let's wait for Bitcoin to probably see some more choppiness from here between $51,000 and $52,000. Give it chop. Let it just accumulate a little bit. Once we see that accumulation happening, once we see that 51,000 is holding very nicely, what we're going to do is we are going to then long around 51,600 back again with our tight stops under $51,000, and we're going to let it ride towards $53,400 to $53,800. Quickly, we are going to book the profits over there. Everybody's going to expect $55,000, $58,000, $60,000. Maybe possibilities there. It might go as well. But looking to the structure, I see this is like more of a distributive top rather than any sort of another accumulation that we are looking for to run more on the upside. So I think at this point, guys, we need to be very cautious. Just don't look for longs at this point. We need more and more PA on the lower term time frame to form. Once that price action forms, then we will be looking for longs. That's all what I have for today's stream. I'm going to take another private stream probably in the evening for a premium members, guys. And also I have posted a video on how to use our signals as well as the new oscillator that we have released. This is the oscillator that we have. The access, I will be giving you all the access of this oscillator, which is really good actually. And also the signals are very, very good. As you can see, yesterday FVT, I mean, it pumped up almost 18% after giving that signal yesterday as well. Gold also very nice signal it gave on a gold on 15 minutes and 5 minutes as well. A lot of what was the alt? I forgot actually. Kawara was playing that alt actually. I forgot. That also gave like 8% move on an upside after giving that signal. So this is how our signal indicators is really performing well. This signal indicator is basically designed to catch an early trend shifts basically. This is where when your market was chopping, it was giving like a buy over here at 42,800, and it was just keep on giving buy, accumulate more, just keep on compounding till like 42,400 it accumulated. The price did not went under $42,000, and then we just blew up just like this. I've explained you guys and posted a video as well what this triangle means and what the buy and sell signal means and how to play this as well. For Link, Matic, and XRP, definitely I'm going to update it in the maybe I'm just going to update it the charts under the altcoin section in our Discord, as well as I'm going to probably take it on the live stream. For now, I think for your longs, my friend Muhammad Khan, I think Link is definitely bearish at this point. I honestly don't feel any sort of a bullishness. Why? Because on the Link, the only levels you need to keep in mind, and I've been very vocal about it, if it flips 20.3, I would be very much happy to long. It did not, it really did not flipped those levels at all. Over here, we were waiting for it to flip 20.3. We were waiting, just waiting, never flipped it. And now we have just went down. It's just like forming, we are literally at a support. So, I mean, it might do like a small Bitcoin kind of a pattern. How it can do? So, as you can see here, what we really want is we are at support. Let's say Link, it does something like this, sweep the lows of 17.9. This is a very interesting liquidity. We almost have 4 bottoms over here, and also we have a 17.8. Then there is a huge support over here at 17.6 because we have a weekly naked POC. So we probably go down here and then probably look for a bounce up towards 19.9, and we might form a head and shoulder sort of a thing and probably reversal like this. This is going to be like head and shoulder, or the way Bitcoin did a bigger accumulation. So this is where we, this is like A, B, C over here, a like sideways accumulation like this, and the market just go nuts like this for the Link. And this is how it can do actually at that point of time, my friend. But for now, I think I'm expecting it to sweep the lows of 17.9, and the bounce is going to happen from 17.65. That's the very logical levels for Link to give us a bounce from those levels towards a minimum target of 19.5 or so. Broadening top pattern on Link, if you look at here on the daily time frame, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there are few signs. I really don't see a broadening top on the daily, but yes, as I feel it, I can see a broadening top might play out on a 12 hours time frame. Basically, this is how it can actually, and it's a very valid one, my friend, very valid one. So what it can do is, this is your lows. we can literally do something like this, because now we have support of EMA 50 on the daily at 17.3. This is where the support is, and we are now going to test the EMA 50 on the daily time frame, almost like since 29th of Jan 2024 after flipping it. So practically, let's say if this EMA is holding it, again, it is like a bullish retest. We go down like this along with Bitcoin, and it just pumps up like this and makes new highs like this towards 21.9. This is on the lower term time frame. We might see on the higher term time frame, basically 3 days or 4 days. Let's check it out. What do we have? Nah, that's not the broadening top, my friend. Because just try and understand the logic for the broadening top. Why the broadening top? What is the logic? First, try and understand. So if you look at the fibs perspective, let's draw the fibs. This was your highs, okay, and this was your lows, okay. Just look at it, how far we went. 1 to 72 we went, perfect. Then how far we went? We went to 1414 fib. Yeah, we went beyond 1414. How far we went? We went to 1618, almost 1618 we went, you see. Normally when we are going for a bigger B wave, a B wave will never go beyond 1414. It never happens, never. So we really went close to 1618, very, very close. I mean, I would say few pips we were away. I would say we really went to 20.9. The 1618 was at 21.1, so not much of a difference basically. So that doesn't to me make me feel like this is a broadening top. Of course, that might be end of something. So because we have 5 waves, 1, 2, this is 3, 4 or 5, because you had a huge volume over here. So I would consider this is a wave 3 over here with a huge volume, and maybe this is 5. Or what might be the case is this is a wave 1 over here, 2, and this was your wave 3 over here, and we are doing wave 4 choppiness, go towards EMA 50 daily, maybe over the support of the previous range highs around 17.6. From there we get one more push up like this and formed another broadening top on the lower term time frame, and then we start doing something like this. That's the two case we have for Link. So I think if Bitcoin also gives us that very interesting bounce, if Bitcoin goes a little bit choppiness, sideways correction, and we hold the 51k, give us that bounce, I think Link can be a very good buy at that point of time. It is going to give you a minimum bounce from 17.6 to 17.7 levels. From there, it can give you a minimum bounce of 10%. So if you buy the spots, you can make 10% on your spot bags on Link, and not by just doing nothing actually. So we just need a little bit of choppiness over here on the Bitcoin, a small move on the Bitcoin, and then we start dumping more. I think Link is going to go definitely to our levels on the lower term time frame. That's what it's going to do then. Similarly, Matic overall is bullish, guys. And if you look at the daily time frame as well on the Matic, let's just try to understand Matic as well. Now that we have already discussed Link, let's also do Matic. So Matic, we already got a buy signal from our indicator over here when we were around 77.8. Also got a double compounding signal as well, that we need to compound our trades around 78.3. So basically from there we already got an impulsive move. Now that we are getting such sort of a nasty candle on Matic, a dumping, if you do happen to get a very interesting engulfing candle like this, then definitely it would consider that we are locally topped on the Matic. What we're going to do is, if we close like this, okay, we are at equilibrium of a bigger range, as you can see here. Let me just close all the indicators so that we know the cleaner chart. So let me hide all the indicators for now. See, now you have a very cleaner chart over here for Matic. So just look at the weekly time frame. So we are currently just testing the equilibrium of a bigger range actually. What is the range? This is your range lows, guys. This is your range highs, and this is like a retesting of an equilibrium. Now I think Matic is likely going to do a Chili's kind of a thing. Why? It's a perfect broadening top in my view. Perfect. You see, a very interesting broadening top over here on Matic. It's a perfect top actually, a broadening top, as you can see here. So let's say even if you do happen to get a move on the downside on Matic like this, maybe and if we start closing back above the equilibrium of 95 cents, I see it going towards 1.12 and maybe even to 1.15, finishing this whole move, and then we start dumping back down towards this 65 cents, retesting again, and then further dump like this. That's what I think Matic might do. But flipping the levels, these levels of 1.17 would be very, very bullish for Matic, honestly. Very bullish. For now, Matic is bullish. If we do happen to close like an engulfing candle, the whole 3 days a candle is engulfed, or in fact we form like a daily bearish engulfing candle like this, we might see a little bit more downside on Matic towards 81 cents, or maybe the best scenario would be around 80.3 cents, and then we can continue on upside. If we don't form any engulfing candle today and we start closing above 99, or I would say $1, very bullish it would be, and Matic would continue towards 1.15 to 1.13 dollars actually. But for now, this broadening top is a very valid one in my view for Matic. Very valid one, so that's what I have for XRP, guys. XRP, I think we are still very, very early on XRP, despite of the fact that 3-day gave us a buy signal, but we still have a sell signal on a weekly chart on an XRP. The RSI is still under 50 levels, and also under this my chart is not looking that good. It's a little bit messy chart, but whatever we need, everything is there on this chart. From the price action algo perspective, everything you need, actually we have it here. XRP is facing a tough resistance around 56 cents. It's a big levels, as you can see here. You have EMA 200 daily, you have EMA 50 daily, you have EMA 50 weekly. So 55 cents to 56 cents is a very tough resistance. So till XRP do not claim the 55 cents on a weekly time frame, we don't close above 55 cents, 2 consecutive close above 55 cents on a weekly time frame, I think XRP is not yet ready. But once it starts closing above 55 cents on a weekly time frame, it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop. It's just going to keep on pumping. But for now, it's not yet ready. Let it just flip. Then we're going to talk about it. FET on the lower term time frame, I was expecting a bullish wolf wave, got a small bounce. I was expecting it to bounce till 1.06. Normally that's what the bounce for the bullish wolf waves. It went down. So basically now it seems that we are flipping the Monday highs. If the Monday highs is flipped on FET as well. Now before we go down, yesterday our plan was to sweep these lows and run back turbo. That's exactly perfectly played out. My target was 1.1 as well. As I mentioned, flip 95 cents and you should be longing. This was the candle when 95 cents was flipped. This, if you would have long 96.86, you would have made almost a very interesting big money with the pump, almost close to 13%. Now let's say you don't know about anything. Even if you use our signals indicator, the signal gave a flash an indicator long around 92.2 cents. If you would have bought around 92.2 with your stops under 88 cents, amazing risk reward would have been, guys. And what a very interesting 15% move on an upside for FET. For now, I think FET is losing Monday highs, and also we are this was the range, so basically it's like a range as well. And also there is a very interesting broadening top as well over here, as you can see on the lower term time frame. A very interesting broadening top, as you can see here, with the 5 waves completing on an upside on FET as well. Now the probability something happened, guys. Just hold on. I don't know, suddenly the live stream stopped. The YouTube stopped actually for some reasons. Maybe it can't take a load off or what. Yeah, perfect. We are back, guys. So I think, overall, this can be a very interesting broadening top on FET as well. And, FET can be a very nice broadening top. I mean, we are just losing the Monday highs. So till, FET do not reclaim the Monday highs, but then we also wanted to reclaim the $1 because it's a psychological resistance. And if it don't reclaim this, till we don't reclaim, because we now have a support resistance algo, big key levels over here as well. I'm just going to show you basically what the support resistance algo have for the 1 hour. We have 1.0275 as a strong resistance. So I think, on the lower time frame, just don't long FET at this point because it has lost the levels. Till it don't reclaim this 1.027, I think we should not be longing it. I think most likely what it's going to do is it's going to continue on the downside and going to go for a support around 93.2 cents. That's what it's going to do. But yes, once it flips the 1.027, let's say once it flips, because what it might happen is this may be your, wave 1 over here, wave 2 over here. This is like a wave 3, and that's like a wave 4, chop, chop, chop. Once it reclaim this levels and we start chopping, accumulating here like this, long it, because we're going to go towards a 1.13, maybe even 1.15. Then you can definitely long it. But for now, the way we are looking at the Monday highs, it's definitely not looking good. Looking towards even, we are also, the RSI is, going back under 50%, which is not a good sign overall. So I think we just need to wait for a 1 hour candle closure, which is going to happen in next 10 minutes. If RSI closes like this, under 50%, and we are closing on the Monday highs, then avoid longing till we flip the 1.03 levels. We don't flip, don't long, guys. Just patience here. I mean, just don't try to play like you are betting on something. No, we are not like we are not betting on anything. We are a trader. Don't long that you expect in an anticipation that it's gonna pump. No, long only when you you see that it has flipped, the price got acceptance. Now the buyers are crazy over here, it has got acceptance, then and then only we long. We just don't want to play or trades anything based on an anticipation that it's going to play out. No, we don't work like that. That's why I've made a signal indicator for you guys, so that these signal indicators are going to be very, very helpful. You can also create an alert from here. Simply go to here, click on the 3 button and add an alert on support resistance algo. If you go here, click on the alert function, you will see whether you want to get a buy alert on FET 1 hour time frame, you want to get a sell alert for an FET. You want to select a trigger, whether you want only once or once maybe per bar close, something like this, whether you want to have an open-ended alert or you want to have an expiry. You can also probably have an alert name or set some conditions you want to set it. It also gives you an alert basically whether the whatever you want to have it, whether the price is crossing up, whether the price is crossing down. That's where you can just get an alert. But I would say buy and sell alert is basic, so you can probably get notifications on that buy and sell alert as well on the support and resistance algo for the signal indicator that we have here. I think FET is not looking good at this moment because we are under Monday highs, and once we flip the 1.0275, then only you can long. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that's what I have for today's stream. If you'd like to subscribe your roles to Pro Premium, guys, do trade on Bybit, create an account. I'm also having a giveaway going on for everyone, $250 per person, going to give this $250 to 3% each. So $250 to each person who is going to create a Bybit account and deposit just $100. I don't want more, just $100. And probably the link and everything is mentioned on Twitter as well and in the Discord. And we are also going to release our website soon, probably by end of this week. The website is almost ready, guys. We need to add the screeners and the rest of the other things from the education perspective. So Zoom, yes, we're going to do the Zoom after I have my lunch. So I'm just going to finish my lunch and then probably we go Zoom, guys. Probably in next 1 hour or so, we're going to do Zoom actually. Okay, so be ready, Mohsin, Arbab, and other stuff. We are going to do Zoom with our traders. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining the stream. Have patience, guys. We have this, mentioned our plan for Bitcoin on the lower term time frame. If really Bitcoin is bullish and we really want to pump, this is how I would like to see more choppiness, a little bit more choppiness, and then we pump up for a PO3 for this UT80 for a phase C. The first schematic that we have here, this schematic 1 of the week off, and then probably we go for and then we go for a dump. So we need a little bit more choppiness, a more chop, and then we look for an upside. We really don't want to see Bitcoin going back under 50,760 if you're really bullish, in my view. That's all, guys. Have a nice day. Take care. Let's connect on Zoom in probably next one and a half hour. Okay. Take care, guys. See ya.